Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. Now, of course, I know that I've been doing a lot of political news. Political, Jesus. So I know I'm going to be trying to shift between finding actual good gaming news and then now giving news and stuff like that. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like Unity has created a massive problem. Something that is, I would say, maybe completely unethical and possibly even the dumbest move Unity has ever created, because now they want to charge developers 24 to 64 cents per install. We're going to go over this together here. So what we have here with the first article, we have Unity rushes to clarify price increase plan as of game developers fume. So what we have here is that Unity, the tech company behind one of the most popular engines for creating video games, is scrambling to clarify how a price increase for its services will work. After his announcement Tuesday morning, broadly infuriated the game development community, which I would not blame them. This hurts immensely on game developers in terms of the indie ones, right? And I think we can all start agreeing here is that indie games are kind of surpassing the AAA games for the most part. A lot of the times, the AAA games gets released garbage, very low content, some deleted, mostly deleted content, a lot of DLC, paying extra. I think Warhammer 3 is a good one that's coming to mind. Or we have Star Wars Jedi Survivor, where that game came out completely trashed, bad on almost the top end of GPUs, and well, it doesn't seem to be doing too well. The fees, which Unity said are essential for funding development of its tech, left many game makers wondering if having a hit game through Unity would cost them more money than they could make. Developers spoke throughout the day of delaying their games to switch to rival Epic Games, Unreal Engine, or other services on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. But by the evening, Unity exec Martin Whitten was updating Axios on the policies, potentially diffusing some concerns raised by game creators. Details. The new runtime fee announced Tuesday morning is tied to a player's installations of a game, an action that previously didn't cost developers anything. With Unity's new plan, developers who use Unity's free tier of development services would owe Unity 20 cents per installation once their game hit thresholds of 200,000 downloads and earn 200,000 in revenue. Developers say paying over $2,000 a year for a Unity Pro plan would have to hit higher thresholds and would be charged with lower fees. The new fee system would begin at the start of 2024. Yes, but game developers rallying on X began fuming immediately that any game enjoying a spike in installations due to a big sale, inclusion in a charity bundle, or even just by being included in a popular subscription service like Microsoft Game Pass, would trigger back-breaking Unity fees. I think the bigger issue here as well is that a lot of indie companies, they don't have the money to do this. All that money that they be using with Unity, as as what they said, they have their own producers essentially that would really drop the game, and then they get the producers or what have you get a cut of that revenue, and then Unity would also get this cut of revenue, which would leave the indie company very, very little money to work with. This is only with the actual Unity though. This is not happening with Unreal Engine or some of these other very fancy high tech programs, which apparently Unity isn't. Another studio, AgroCab, called on Unity to reverse its plan, saying that it feared that its next game, set for release to the 25 million subscribers on Game Pass, could incur fees that threaten the stability of our business. Unity has scrambled to clarify in one key case, alter what it has said about its policies around the fees. After initially telling Axios earlier to Tuesday that a player installing a game, deleting it, and installing it again would result in multiple fees, Unity's Whitten told Axios that the company would actually only charge for an initial installation. A spokesperson told Axios that Unity had regrouped to discuss the issue. It doesn't really matter if you charge for the initial installation, right? It's still if you have like 200,000 or 400,000 downloads, that's a lot of bloody money that the developer has to pay you. Money that they could use to pay their employees, or money they can use to develop their new higher tech game. Like it's like that $20,000 is a lot of money, and for people that don't think it's not, is just is a fool, and is probably too rich to even understand what $20,000 is. He hoped this would allay fears of assault bombing, where an angry user could keep deleting and reinstalling a game to rack up fees to punish a developer. Exactly. This is a very good example, a very good thing for this. I know that I wouldn't do this if I just don't like a game or hated a developer. I just wouldn't do this because it's pointless to me. But there would be people that would do nefarious things. You always have to think of what somebody is going to do nefariously and kind of like work around and find ways to deal with that. And of course, they're going to do this. And of course, that would also result into people maybe installing the game as well if they uninstall it because it's just too much data or too much memory, etc. And they don't want to play it right now. But afterwards, they want to install it again at some point in time, and they enjoy the game, they just install it again. Well, then then that still counts as an install. It's really, really stupid to have this policy in place. But an extra fee will be charged if a user installs a game or on a second device, say Steam Deck, or if they're installing a game on a PC. So even Steam devices or like a phone would be counted as a install. I also want to know how they are going to count the installs. Runtime fees will also not be charged for installations of game demos. Witten said, unless the demo is part of a download that includes a full game, early access games would be charged for installation, he noted. Even still, that the demo is included with the full game, like early access, whatever. So again, this is a problem that is a huge issue. Games offered for charity or included in charities will be exempt from the fees. Unity will provide a way for developers to inform Unity that their games are being offered that way. Witten said, as for Game Pass and other subscription services, Witten said that developers like Aggro Crab would not be on the hook as the fees are charged to distributors, which in the Game Pass example would be Microsoft. Runtime fees will not be charged for the installation of game demos, Witten said, unless the demo is part of a download load that includes the full game. So, yeah, that is what's going on. But there's a bit more stuff here. This is also with the Unity plan, pricing, and packaging updates. And this is the way it's pretty much going to be. We have this here, Unity runtime fee schedule. Check if the Unity runtime fee applies to your game and estimate any applicable fees. The fee applies for 2 new installs beginning January 1st, 2024, billed monthly. So you would have pretty much Unity Personal and Unity Personal and Unity Plus is 200,000. Unity Pro is around, looks like it's to $1 million, and then again, it looks like Unity Enterprise is around the same as well, $1 million. So and then the install threshold is 200,000. The Unity Pro is $1 million, and then a Unity Pro is another. Unity Pro Enterprise is again $1 million. Calculate the fee as we see here: new installs per month, 1 to 100,000, $0, 15 cents per install. Unity Enterprise would be 125 cents per install, so pretty much almost a bloody dollar practically. So and then we have 100,000. Let me see here. Yeah. So be like 500,000 to it looks like $1 million here. No, to 100 to 100,500 per $20 20 cents per install, and you have all this here. Pretty much the same thing for what's here. So this is all their services and what they're doing here, right? This is pretty insane. And this is billed monthly, so if you get another same amount of installs, you have to pay that price again. So it's insane. You have this here, which is kind of odd. Unity Software Inc.'s president and CEO John Ristilio, I think I should pronounce his name, sells $2,000 in shares, not 200,000, but $2,000 in shares. On September 6th, John Ristilio, president and CEO of Unity Software Incorporated, sold 2,000 shares of the company. This move is part of a larger trend for the insider who, over the past year, has sold a total of $50,000 of shares and purchased none. So, yeah, it seems that this is odd, considering that this was on September 6th, and then not too long afterwards, it seems that Unity is going for a price increase. We have this here. Unity CEO devs who push back against monetization can be brilliant, but also fucking idiots. So, John Russo, CEO Game of Jing and service provider Unity has said developers that shun monetization practices or leave them to later in the development cycle are fucking idiots. AX spoke to Brockett in the wake of Wednesday's news that monetization tools provider IronSource is merging with Unity during the fourth quarter of this year. When asked about the pushback from developers against working out how to get users spending early in the development process, Rizzolio said it's a very small portion of the gaming industry that works that way. And some of these people are my favorite people in the world to fight with. They're the most beautiful and pure people. They're also some of the biggest idiots. I've been in the game industry longer than most people, getting to the gray hair and all that. It used to be the case that developers would throw their game over the wall to publicize and sales force with literally no interaction beforehand. That model is baked into the philosophy of a lot of art forms and medium. It is one I am deeply respectful of. I know their dedication and care. So this was like July 15th. Again, this is the type of mentality that this guy has. I think monetization on a lot of things is terrible, at least when it comes to the crates and whatnot. That is pretty much gambling, and I only agree with a few things. Monetization should be a thing if it's not going to be affecting the game in any course of way, such as, the performance of the game or how you do, or etc. Is that pay to win? Or if it's you go into a game and, the game is just DLC, but the game is free. So essentially, cosmetics and stuff like that, that's fine. It's when the game is, also being released, and then you'll also have more monetization. It's just really annoying. All eyes on Made with Unity and all this stuff, and these people that this is going on with all these games. And I may believe is pretty much going crazy. 100,000 copies sold, and that means that they would have to pay Unity an X amount of money for for selling these for this. This is for Over the Game Moons. Hey Unity, our game The Fall was on the Epic Games as a free game. I was quite happy to sell them the rights for peanuts, and the game wasn't sold this like 7 million times. How do you propose this will work? I'd owe you more money than I made in my life. For your information, I am still a bit confused and concerned about edge cases, but it's clear now that my initial concerns were a bit unreasonable. Unity's caps and caps, use, and logic, you have to hit time around X amount of dollars and lifetime units. This is much safer than I feared. That said, if you hit rev and a unit threshold disappear, that you will be charged for demos and bundles, which is insane. No matter how you slice it, that's fucking crazy. They're going to start charging devs for installs above a certain cap, of course. To be clear, the more than I've made in my life is an obvious exaggeration. I owe them 3 times that what Epic paid me. Exactly. So, again, when you make a free game, you don't really make any money, essentially, because it's free. You would have to make money off of the transactions, or, the money, or any of the cosmetics or whatever that is within your game, monetization / capsules and stuff, shit like that. So, they would have to rely on that type of stuff to make the money, and not everybody is going to pay for that. So, again, with this, it's really screwing over people that even making free money stuff. And, do have this here from Michael J. Foxney. Mega game is freemium. Game makes 200K from an app purchases after being installed 3 million times. Now, you need 20% per 2.8 million installs, 560K. That's more than 360 more than we made. So, yeah, exactly. So, that being said, a lot of people are not happy about this, and rightfully so, because this is really screwing over game developers that are making games with Unity. And I think this is only going to empower Unreal Engine, because Unreal Engine, they are not charging you to pay money to use their engine, all right? Or along the lines of if you're using their engine, they don't charge you with it, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. Again, these things are bad. I don't think Unity is going to do very well, but I was happy to make an actual good video game report on this, because I want to do a bit more than just report on political stuff. More stuff on that later today, obviously. So without further ado, like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.